confused. I don't know. But possibly give you different direction. So let's start. And then, so the way we'll go is that we'll just spend some 5 minutes for some of you not aware about Arohi. So maybe just give you a little brief about Arohi. Then over to Archana and Maitri to share their journey. While they're sharing, if you have any question, maybe we can type in the chat window. And once they're done with sharing, we can take up the question answer and have an interaction to move ahead. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Yep. So let's start. Yeah. Yeah. We'll start recording.
I've started recording.
Okay.
Thank you. So good evening. I'm Ratnesh here, and I'm part of Arohi. And probably I'm starting with the question Soham was asking. So rather Soham's father was asking.
Yeah.
Sorry. The question is what do I do? Yeah. So what I obviously don't want to answer that question. I just want to show that you have a very wide playing field in front of you. Okay, one extreme is a very structured conventional schooling where there is a curriculum where teacher drives everything and the child typically does not have much choice. And on the other hand, you have complete open learning where there is no curriculum, no syllabus. The child just learns what the child wants to learn. And in between these two extremes, so Arohi is at the other extreme, which is totally open learning. Okay, but in between, there are so many other points where you can be at any point of time, and possibly, and which is why we don't need to name it anything. We don't need to call it homeschooling, unschooling, open learning, or whatever other name, free learning, home education. I'm running out of breath, not out of names. So you can actually be anywhere and you can keep changing. That's the best part. Right? It's like our life. There is nothing fixed. We keep on evolving, we keep on changing. Maybe you'll start somewhere and then after 1 month somewhere, after 6 months somewhere. And I find that to be the most beautiful part of this journey where you are not bound by anything, but rather, the journey is evolving as the family sees it. Yeah. So that is why we always say it's not the child who does open learning, it's the family who does open learning because it's all the family together, deciding, doing and exploring. Yeah. So, Arohi is, as I said, on the other extreme, which is where we want the child to be the total leader of himself and herself, and choose what the child wants to learn, how, when, where, how much, and so on. And when the child is the leader of himself, the child also, when the child is leader of himself, the child also realizes that one or the hi guys, I think we got logged out. We are back and let me share the screen again. Yeah, sorry, apologies. The Wi-Fi got, knocked us out. Okay, so we are back from another device. So I don't know where I lost the whole thing, but I was trying to say that one is the child is leader of his or her own learning. And according to us, the child gets a default community called his family or her family. But even more exciting is when the child can get a bigger community where there are more families, more children, more people doing this, and we all do it together. So that is where Arohi comes in, which is Arohi is a community where a lot of families who are doing open learning, or you call it homeschooling, unschooling, whatever, we all come together and enjoy learning together while each one is learning what they want to learn. His child is still leading himself, but in the space of a community. So that is what Arohi is. I'll play a small video just for you to get a little idea. This video is also made by one of the children. And then we will hand over the mic to Maitri and yeah, okay. So let's play this. Oops.
The tour around the campus.
Wait, I'll just restart it.
No, I think we are struggling. We'll see. Oh, he was using. Okay. We have changed our device. Let's see.
Connecting with people is amazing. I like chit-chatting with my friends while eating. An opportunity to take all the guests around the tour, around the campus.
Currently, I'm working on improving myself so I can play in a club next year.
I get resources and support to fulfill my passion for sketching.
I sketch many things of animals, birds.
In Arohi, I am a guest and I can find my space here, pursuing my interest on upcycling.
I drum to express my emotion and it makes me feel lighter. In bird watching, I learn a lot of things. What is color of bird, and
I like the time when I spend with the community playing sports. I spend time doing projects related to cinematography and video editing.
I like organizing trips in Arohi क्योंकि your opportunity is to organize trips.
video making is awesome. It's productive and you get an awesome outcome.
I like to do electrical work. I've put many.
I connect with the planning here. Gives me clarity.
I like playing with the cats. I learn crochet and teach others crochet.
எனக்கு சமைக்கிறதுக்கு இங்க ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
All the resources here are new to me to explore.
Okay, so over to Archana and Maitri. So I will not give your intro because I want you to speak and just share the beautiful journey of homeschooling you have and this Asmakam which is there in Indore in your city. Yeah, so over to both of you. I'll just highlight your.
Namaste and good evening to everyone. So happy and I'm feeling blessed to be between all of you here today. Arohi, I remember, I still remember before I start about my journey, I still remember that in 2011, when we were trying to move back from US to India, we were looking for some alternative options because if to transitioning to the homeschooling, and Genie Kids was that time. I still remember I met Aditi. That time I didn't know that soon we'll start working closely together and doing something like Arohi in Indore. But anyway, so I am Archana. I have 2 self-learner kids. My husband Manish and I both, we are so-called very well educated from IITs, which doesn't make any sense now when we started all this journey. And I wish we could have done the same thing what we are trying to do with our kids. But Maitri is 21. We were in US for based background myself when I was growing up. So we belong to Gandhian family, and also my family and I myself, we have been practicing Gita, Ved, Upanishad thoughts for as long as I remember from my childhood. And the real meaning of education was always clear to us, in the family, that there is 2 kind of education. One is life oriented and one is job oriented or bread oriented. And it was very clear that kind of education, I don't call it education, I call it schooling, because as Mark Twain clearly said that I don't want to interfere my education with my schooling. We know all these quotes different, about education. So that was always a question that while growing up, my parents, and that time it was not that bad, you know, that we were so much career oriented, we were so much marks oriented. The values and will still, like, they were still holding a lot of importance in person's life, in the money you are earning or position you are, your career is. So that time, while growing up, we had a school of just 4 to 5 hours, and my parents never forced me. One incident from my even 12th board's exam, that tomorrow is my mathematics paper, and my father insisted me that there is a very nice film coming on TV. TV was new that time, so you should come and watch that movie. That is going to give you a lot of learning, and you can give your exam. So that the kind of person he was, you know. I still got into merit and 12th board and whatever, but that parents sown this seed into me that education is nothing about degrees or number of like marks or grades you are getting, but how, like, what kind of a person you are and what kind of life you are leading. So that was from the childhood, and as we became parents, we kept thinking that we went through because self-learning, unschooling or homeschooling is always to give a lot of respect to your children's need and their thoughts, and basically make them the honor of their life. So when we were in US, Maitreyi finished her 8th grade, and Atri, from the childhood, he was kind of a person that he wouldn't follow any discipline in the school. He wouldn't wake up at 6 a.m. and get ready for the school. He had his own schedule. So I never forced him. So for him, it started from the birth. But Maitreyi was she went to the school until 8th. And we, as a democratic family, we sat together and started talking to them that what if we give you this option that you don't have to go to school, and just think, it's totally up to you. We are not saying that we have some strong opinion that you should go or you should not go. It's your choice. And Maitreyi, I think she had different interest anyway in history and traveling and cooking and different things. So she wanted some more time to spend for those interests. So she took it happily. Atri, as I said, he was never a school-going kid anyway. So he was taking on his own. So our journey started from homeschooling for Maitreyi. So she continued her online studies. Couple of subjects for 1 year she continued after 8th, and then she took some AP exams for US US universities or US, and then she just applied to US university just as a homeschooler with all the credits she had formally, but more she wrote an essay about how she spent her years, secondary and senior secondary years in exploring as a homeschooler. And US that way is very flexible, so she was accepted into some top universities there with the scholarship. She will tell her journey more. But for Atri, we never enforced any curriculum or anything to him. We just asked him that there are options to take 10th and 12th certification from NIOS. So if you feel, and one point of time when his friends in the community, in the society, they are all giving exams, he got very much enthusiastic that I really want to try this exam thing, how this works. And so he enrolled into 10th NIOS. And this year he cleared, in October, last October, he cleared his NIOS with, good performance, whatever they call it in the formal education. But we never put any tutor or anything for him, and it worked out fine for him. So I think, as Ratnesh initially said, that this is a individual journey. We work on the principles of like, let's like, you know, a young one decide what is the path of their life. We can just be a facilitator, but as a parent we are still conditioned, you know. We are trying for last 10 years almost now, but we might still have some apprehension or something which our unschoolers or self-learner kids will talk, not in front of us but within their groups, that still our parents might have some expectation, but we are still working on it, you know. I wouldn't say that we are totally unconditioned and, you know, we have just given the freedom, but it slowly works. So for us as a family, homeschooling to unschooling to self-learning, you know, this is the path we have taken. And for me personally, and like for Manish, my husband as well, education and learning has a very broad meaning than just getting the degrees and getting and following the conventional system and getting into the career mode. It's totally different, like how we live life and what is the ultimate thing we desire from life, you know, happiness and prosperity. So anything which brings that happiness and prosperity and mental, emotional and physical wellness in their life, and they try to become good human being, I think it served our purpose for this life. That's what I think we believe. I'm sorry I took a lot of time, but this is very this topic is very close to our heart, so it just Maitreyi would like to share something.
Yeah, Archana, we would like to listen to Maitreyi as well as maybe come back to you to listen about Asmakam and other initiative, because many of the time we feel that, you know, we are alone, or you know, we need community, and then how you have created a community, although you're
sure. Yeah.
So yeah, let's listen to Maitreyi. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yes. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Before I start, I wanted to know, I will speak in a mix of Hindi and English. Is that okay with everyone? Are there any language barriers?
It's fine, I think.
Yeah, if anybody needs, we can, so it's an invitation. Anyone feels that you need, we can pause and translate if certain things.
Definitely.
Yeah, we can go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so my journey, where to start, I think I find it very funny when people ask me to share my journey, because I feel like abhi to chali rahi, abhi to chalu hai. I'm still very much on that path and I'm very, very young. So I find it very funny when people ask me to share my journey. But since all of you lovely people are here, and, you know, Aditi and Ratnesh, thank you so much for inviting me and Ma on. It's lovely to be here. So I'll share with you my journey up till now as a self-learner and unschooler. So it started out, I think, after 8th. So I went to school till 8th. And honestly, since the very beginning, I wasn't very fond of going to school like every other kid. And I think I always found that my learning was sort of hindered by these four walls that were around me and by structure, and I didn't much like other people telling me what I should do and when I should do it and how I should do it. And I think that's every kid though. So and this all comes now when I think about it. But yeah, so after 8th, I think the summer after that, my parents sort of sat me down and they were like, what if we don't send you to school from the next year? And I was like, great. I don't know what's up with them, but whatever it is, it's good for me. I'm going to take advantage of this. And I said, I'm fine with it. I don't want to go to school. And I think a lot of the learning happened much later. The first year, I think, was just a lot about unconditioning and unlearning a lot of things that, I had gone through in these however many years of schooling, and I don't think I did much of anything the first year. I remember taking it as my sort of get out of jail free card, and now that I don't have to go to school, I can do anything. And my parents were very, very, they were like, we want to put the responsibility of your learning in your own hands. So you figure this out. We won't say anything. We won't sit down and teach you, because then what bad was school then if you want anything. So they pretty much let me and my brother sort of roam wild, so to speak. And I don't think the first year I did much of anything. I used to love to read a lot of books, so I read a lot. I woke up whenever I wanted to, took naps whenever I wanted to, and basically just sort of drifted through the first year. And I think that was also very, very important. And now I can look back and realize and reflect how hard it was for my parents to actually let me do that, to put their own fears and their own conditioning sort of at bay and say, okay, you know what, let her find her own path and eventually she'll come around. And I did. I think in general, the environment that we had in our house was one of constant learning. Even my parents, when they were not working and they were at home, they were constantly exploring and learning, always watching different TED Talks or sharing all of these interesting ideas with us that they sort of knew about. And I think that sort of is what prompted us also, because the environment was such that there was learning going on. It was so conducive to learning. I think we also came upon this path, and I think me and my brother both started exploring a lot of the different things that we were interested in. So I learned about psychology, and I was always interested in history. I learned about history, and did a lot of explored cooking, which is one of my passions. And I used to love working with kids, so I got the opportunity to do that as well. I would volunteer as an English teacher in government schools here in Indore. And then I also worked a couple days a week with mentally disabled kids as well. And that sort of also prompted this interest in psychology and learning about human behavior and how the human brain works, which is now also what I'm doing for my higher studies as well. But yeah, and then I think I also did a couple courses. So I did follow some sort of curriculum towards the end because I felt like that's what I needed. So I did a few AP courses, which are advanced placement courses, which are basically college level courses. And out of my own interest, I think nowhere ever did my parents say, okay, what do you want to do with your life? If you want to go to college, have you thought about you should be giving exams, or you should be taking this course or that course? So they never said it. It just sort of came from my own interest and my own initiative. So did a lot of advanced courses, and eventually decided that I wanted to try out going to university or college. So then I ended up applying to a lot of like a couple universities in the States, New York University, University of California, University of Chicago, and then eventually ended up going to University of Chicago for a semester. And when I was there, I sort of realized कि boss, ये तो नहीं हो पाएगा 4 साल. I think just the idea of being in one place for 4 years doing one thing sort of did not appeal to me at all. It wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to be exploring a lot of different things that I just felt like यार यहाँ पे तो बिल्कुल opportunity नहीं मिलेगी. So I took a break for a semester, came back, told my university that I wanted to come back and work on an idea, and that's sort of how Kotfu, one of our startups, came around. And after that, I sort of started working on Kotfu, started really working with Asmakam as well. Asmakam had started way before when we started homeschooling and unschooling. It was sort of a space for me and Atri to go because it was such a beautiful place in nature. So that's where we'd go and sort of explore and spend a lot of our day there. And the idea with my mom also is why she wanted to start Asmakam was to sort of open this space up to many more children just like us. So that's how it started, and she sort of tried to very much keep us with her in the whole creation process as well. And in the beginning, though, it was not very much of my interest, but she would still, bring us along everywhere, and we travel a lot. And I think that that also significantly contributed to my learning, at least I can say. The types of spaces that I got to see, and the wonderful, wonderful people that I got to meet, and all of these new perspectives that my mind was open to. I think it was just amazing, the opportunities that I got by not going to school. And so then I came back from university, started working on the startup, started working more on Asmakam as well, and then realized that this is sort of what I wanted to be doing, and I didn't want to go back. So I again talked to my university. They said, okay, your semester is done, you've taken your break, now are you coming back? And I told them I don't think I plan on coming back. And they said, if you still want to continue doing whatever you're doing there, that's great, and maybe you can do your degree through distance. And they sort of allowed me to do that. So right now that's what I'm doing, facilitating, working with youth, and then also pursuing my Bachelor of Science in Psychology, currently from Arizona State. I was doing it before from University of Chicago, and I switched this year because they weren't allowing me to do it through distance anymore, and also because of the pandemic situation, I decided that I didn't want to go back for the last year. So right now doing it from Arizona State University, and this will be my final year. So I'll be graduating in June. And in the meantime, working on a lot of exciting projects with Asmakam and outside of Asmakam as well. And that is basically where I am up till now, still exploring my own self and my own interests, and what it is that I like to do, and working and studying and all of that stuff.
Maitri, you also want to share about your startup food, Kuftu, right? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Connecting through food.
Yeah, maybe Archana or Maitri, any one of you.
Yeah, Maitri will start. Yeah.
I'll start, but I just also fair warning, it isn't much mine anymore. I've sort of shifted gears now.
Yeah, but you can still start
the idea sharing. That's how,
yeah. So it started out with sort of my passion for cooking, and it started out as this platform for people who enjoy cooking, love cooking. I think we have this great treasure of mothers and nannies and dadis, especially in India, who love to cook and feed other people with so much love. And the idea was, how can we give them this platform where they can sort of share their gift with more people also outside their family, and also how can we create more trust in the world and connect with strangers. So the idea started out with that as sort of this Airbnb for homemade food, where there are hosts who host meals, and then people can book a meal and have a meal with this host family at their dining table with them together, this lovely homemade meal. And with that, it also evolved into this I think marketplace. Now it's an online marketplace for just wholesome, sustainable food of all kinds. So we have natural farmers as well on board who directly sell all of their natural crops with us. So that the idea there was also to connect producers and consumers and sort of bridge this gap where, farmers who are doing all of this amazing stuff, they deserve to be appreciated, but their names are lost and we don't know who we're getting our food from. And the idea was, how can we sort of bridge that gap and give farmers the appreciation they deserve and also the value for whatever they're doing. So yeah, and that's how it's been right now. Mama, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I think through Kotfu we also used to hold before pandemic food festivals once a month, twice a month, where all the farmers will have their farmers market. And the Kotfu is, again, it's an online farmers market, you can say. So we are directly connecting with to get the proper recognition and true price, real price of their. We cannot value the hard work farmers is putting in terms of monetary things, but even if family know their name and they have seen them somewhere, or at least know the farmer's profile, that would give farmers a lot of self satisfaction and sense of pride that right now it's not happening. So Kotfu wanted to be that. Homemade meals thing we started, but somehow the pilot was in Indore city, and then it was way before. Like now, might Bangalore or different cities might have different similar kind of status, but 2017 we didn't have anything going on in India. Means delivery food is there, but we really wanted to make connecting is the main focus, connecting through food. So connecting people, family to family, and enjoying some authentic taste together, having some meaningful conversations. So this was unfortunately that part didn't work. Means we didn't put a lot of effort there, but this farmers thing is still and this during the COVID, we were actually invited by the city authorities to help families to get healthy and natural food, and so we connected with almost 300 farmers and served thousands of family during last many months, with the fruits and vegetables. It was not Kotfu's domain. We were just working into the non-perishable grains and all those things, but we stepped up to do that. So gives a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, it's quite mesmerizing to hear from a 21-year-old talking about the generation bringing together and farmers bringing together. So it's quite heartful to listen to you, Maitri. And I know it's not only that you're talking about it, you are bringing that in action. And yeah, I think whole credit goes to the family, where the family is, as you said in the beginning, conducive environment where we all together came up. And to all of us who are listening, I'm quite, I will say, fortunate to work under Maitri.
Under Maitri.
I'm saying proudly. We all are working on seeing the needs of the people who are coming into this wonderful, or maybe the new world of homeschooling, unschooling. We are together bringing all the resources, all possible things together under one platform. I think Archana or Maitri can say more about it, but my joy is to work under me. I'm absolutely stress-free. I follow what Maitri say. I do. I attend things which are led by her. So it's quite wonderful to work under the younger generation, because we have done our work. So now it's these guys who, and she's also connecting a lot of youth to come to this platform. Yeah, so maybe Archana, Maitri, if you would like to share, and then we can open up for the...
Sure. Yeah. So Self-Learning Cafe is the project's name, and actually before COVID, as we talked, that education is always, we are talking about being in nature, hands-on, and small spaces, self-learning spaces like Arohi should be in each part of India to support our journey, learners' journey in a very holistic and very conducive environment. So before that, Asmakam, Asmakam is almost doing the similar things. We don't have any regular program yet, but over the weekends and after school hours and vacations, many people like in Indore, families have been after us that why don't you start something regular? And I was always feeling very hesitant that, that we didn't want to put any structure to that. And once your mindset, parents' mindset is not ready, we didn't want to be another school. Because Arohi has been for many years now, there are many parents who are already unconditioned their mindset, and it's working wonderfully. But in Indore, no one had heard anything about unschooling or homeschooling. The first word when this crazy family comes back from USA, that was one another reason to consider us as crazy, that we moved back. We are citizens there, but then we used to listen from people that pagal ho gaye ho, ek to आ गए, आता कोई नहीं है वहां से, और उसके बाद में अपने बच्चों को भी स्कूल से निकाल लिया है, कर क्या रहे हो, you know. So this so as I was talking about self-learning cafe, so this plan was there in like for last many years, where we are trying to put and collaborate with everyone who is working in the space, how we can create the hybrid platform online and offline, where we can all work together as a parents, as a facilitator, as a spaces, and get one thing which, because over the years, and even Aditi and Ratnesh has this experience, and myself for last 5-6 years in Asmakam, that the parents, many parents wants to do and start this journey, but they think that they need proper ecosystem and support, and their journey starts with some kind of informal but structured thing, you know. They don't feel very comfortable to just pull out the kids from the school and let them do whatever they want. So for us, it has been always like that, and not many parents can be very comfortable with that. So we were thinking that why don't we put very informal things where we can support parents and learners journey through online and offline mode. The places where there is no self-learning spaces like Asmakam or Arohi, they can be supported through us using this online platform, you know, and that would have different categories and different courses and different offerings in terms of courses, sessions, workshops, and very genuine and passionate facilitators who are into the network of us, you know, for last many years, who have been working. So this is not a business idea or anything, but I think after COVID, this became very clear that we definitely need this kind of platform where we can support everyone with some common infrastructure in place, supported by the physical self-learning spaces in different cities. So this is the effort. We started co-creating with different people who have been like Aditi and Ratnesh, and different other people from Bangalore, and like globally, basically. We are trying to put together something which is giving you some relief that, okay, we are giving freedom to our kids, but we know that there are resources and there are mentors available readily to support their journey, you know. So this is what we are trying, and soon we will be, you know, you will be listening, you will be hearing about these announcements, maybe by January 1st week to make it official, but next 2 months we'll be just building and collaborating and aggregating different places and different facilitators and different resources for that. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Archana and Maitri. I think we can open up for questions. I'm sure some of you would like, either you can come on mic or maybe type your questions in the chat window. Whichever way you feel comfortable, we can have a little chit chat with Maitri and Archana. While people are typing question, Archana, would you like to share that? As you said that right from the beginning you were not, you were comfortable with, but are there moments where you felt that, oh, this decision is not good?
I, frankly speaking, Aditi, I never felt that. But my husband Manish, in theory, he's 100% with us for last many years. But initially, I think 4 or 5 years, he was little bit apprehensive about, because he used to think that conventional system and instruction-based teaching has its own place, and it brings discipline in kids' life. So we 3 of us had to listen a lot of things from him. He was still working. He was traveling to different countries and different cities for his work. But whenever he is at the weekend, he would just check what you guys did over the week, you know, iske course ka kya hua, Mitu ka kya hua, iske college ka kya hua. So he was a little bit not skeptic, I would say, but not very comfortable. But he was in tears when Maitreyi's, when she applied, and when this big university accepted her. He had tears in his eye. He said, and that time even 3 of us took a breath, I would say that relief that, we think that we were going on the right way, but when outside system is also endorsing, and for last these 5-6 years now, all the media and different people appreciating and we are doing great thing or whatever. So he keeps listening that and he feels comfortable that we haven't wasted, all these years into just being lazy or enjoying, so.
Yeah, but it's quite beautiful also to see that, yeah, he is also there with you, although we all have our own, sets of apprehensions, process of thinking and all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think so it's quite useful what you share, because many of the time parents ask that I'm fine, my husband is not fine, or I'm fine, my wife is not fine. I think
and also, Aditi, sometimes when these guys are hanging around, sometimes they might also feel that इससे तो अच्छा स्कूल में तो ये दिन भर इनकी बातें सुननी पड़ती है, या तो जहाँ भी है हमसे चिपके रहते, कहीं भी ट्रैवल साथ में कर दो. Children might think sometime that we also need some time alone until, like now Maitri is on her own, so she is traveling alone, but up to certain point she might be thinking, or even I am thinking that यार दिन भर मतलब माएँ जो बचपन में बच्चों को स्कूल भेजती 2 साल से, इसीलिए कि यार थोड़ा तो टाइम हमको फ्री मिले, so sometime you also feel I am being very practical and very honest that galat decision is not wrong, but
ups and downs.
You are taking a lot of responsibility in your hand because there is no system to support. And for future, I was never skeptic that I always knew that even if you do the lousiest job, even if you don't do anything, just leave them, they would still be better off than going to the conventional system, because yeah. So
Archana, what size?
Aditi, may
Yeah, just 1 minute. Yeah, I'll take 2 questions are there in chat window. Then is this Rama Muni?
Yes.
Yeah, then I'll take you on my. So Vatsa is asking, Archana, can you elaborate on the unconditioning that you and your kids went about?
Yeah. So so Aditi, as I said that I was very clear about conditioning is something which society has put in our mind, that those, like if your child is 2 or 3 years, he should know that ABCD and 1, 2, 3, and they are going to the preschool, and then grade wise, and then the career and all those things. But for me, luckily, my born and brought up was with such a values that I knew that what is real education. So I don't say a lot of I was on the right track. But for my husband, I would say that over last 10 years, he has unconditioned himself a lot with whatever he has seen during our journey. His conditioning was that instructional based or school based, or like career is and going to the good and great universities, top universities is the aim of life, and now he started realizing that all these things are not making sense. Degrees are soon going to be obsolete, and I'm surprised that last few years he has been speaking much about what we are doing. Then he used to criticize us. So unconditioning in the sense that whatever we think in the society, what is the definition of success, or what is the definition of life, or career, or whatever. So these kind of conditioned mindset we are in. We still, when at Asmakam we talk to the parents, they talk about what will happen to exam, what will happen to grade 1, 2, 3, 4. And I always talk to the parents that what do you first define what is your purpose of sending your kids to the school, education, learning, career, or showing off, or comparing them with other kids that they know this academic stuff or not. First, you have to be clear on why we are doing certain things in their life. Just don't think about where society is going, but as a person or personally as a family, what do you think, what is important in your life, and for last few years, last 5 to 6 years, I've been telling that if you are worried about your child's future, that what will happen if they don't have any degree certificate, what career will they will make. I always tell them that if they are growing, if you teach them growing your own food and get hold of a 1 acre land, at least they would thank you, because coming time you don't even have good food to eat. So that is the most important priority in the life than thinking about big positions and big things, and COVID has proved already that what is the most essential things in the life. So yeah.
So Roshni is asking Archana, she's curious to know how your son has charted his path.
Okay, yeah. So my son shown his interest into music and technical gadgets since he was a child, so we exposed him. The environment we created in our house is that we have been doing traveling a lot, doing a lot of reading, and talking about conscious life and conscious living. Now also for last years we started farming, so kind of things. So we put, so for example, there is a badminton racket hanging in the house, and different sports equipment or whatever, and music and piano, like simple keyboard or whatever. So we just left it there. One day he comes and says, I want to learn badminton, and he started playing badminton. When he was 4 or 5, he started working on the keyboard, and we thought that he was a very good music listener and his choice was great from the beginning. So we thought that music might be one of his interests. So we just gave him a lot of resources, and he started learning classical music, although he doesn't like very much classical music, but it is giving him the base for the contemporary music right now he's creating. Then he started using our cell phone or cameras to take the pictures, and started writing the small stories, So we thought that filmmaking looks like one another interest for him, and whatever thing he needed for that, camera or, edit software for editing or whatever. So at the age of 13, he helped us as an art director in the film, which 6 minutes film we made in 2017, The Lost Gift. Aditi, if you could share that link with everyone. Yeah. So that film was, even I am a creative person, so I always had different ideas that I should be making film after I left my corporate career in 2012, that I should work on some script and whatever different ideas were coming. And this 6 minute short film we just made to express a frustration of a small child in the system, how pissed off he is, how frustrated he is. And this guy, based on the scenes or based on that diary, this guy, small guy in the movie is writing, I wrote the script for that, and Atri immediately created the sketches for that. So the short film is very simple, but important part is done by Atri in that, and then I had a friend who helped us in, So this thing he started. Once he got the time to explore himself, I think this started coming from inside, that what he wants to do. Then he started making robot and learning programming, and now composing music and making films and whatever. So this is how he unfolded. And
yeah, I think Archana, also one important thing which you're talking about is that listening to the child.
Yeah.
Many of time we can discard these. Okay, music, chalo, hobby class hai, go to the maybe what I'm listening from you, you gave a complete attention to where all he is, showing his inclination or interest, or maybe taking it and leaving out, and but continuing that exploration. So
yeah. And then one more thing, Aditi, as a parent, my husband gets little bit frustrated sometimes that he starts doing something and then he says, oh, I'm no more interested in that. He started working on magic things, and he ordered many things from Amazon, the magic cards or whatever. And then after 2-3 months, he stopped it. And my husband kept saying that you wasted a lot of money and you are not doing anything about that right now. Why don't you finish what you started? And I'm little bit cool about that. I have to listen a lot from different people that, I give a lot of freedom. But, I just left it to him that even in our life, we do that. It's not that whatever we started, we always liked, it's a part of exploration, So let it be. Don't get frustrated that he started showing interest into painting and now he is not doing anything about it.
I think that's the conditioning you're talking about, right?
Right. Even Maitreyi started writing some poems and very beautiful lyrics when she was small, and we were thinking, my husband actually had a lot of expectations. She will write a book, she write a novel. That's what she told us, that she is writing something, and then suddenly it stopped. We never got to see what she did. But so yeah, so that's I think part of life.
It makes a lot of difference to listen to the child, because the child is an individual. What I'm listening from you is that although Atri and Maitreyi both are your children, but both are different, and for both you, that's that what Vatsa was asking.
And even I think Aditi, one more thing I explored, and that's what when Maitreyi was going to Chicago, we were actually talking about her idea of Kotfu, and I really wanted her to hold on the university admission for a year at least and start working on the idea, because entrepreneurship is something where you learn a lot, so many things in small time frame, because it gives you a lot of opportunity. So I always made them in a team, even Asmakam, I gave them the responsibility that you are a co-founder in Asmakam. Initially, probably he didn't do for anything for 1 year, and I kept yelling at her that you are not supporting me, you are co-founder. But then she picked up on her own. Same Atri, I made him creative head. It may sound that okay, I have opened the company, so I have given position, but it is for their learning, that once they get some position or some recognition, okay, we hold this position even in our own company, it gives them. So Atri is now our creative head for all the projects we are doing. He does all the media work for us.
So you're talking about listening to the child as well as creating those challenges for them to come up there, say, both goes hand in hand.
I have one question here to you. That your son cleared his 10th standard into NIS. So what I understand is like our child is.
So can I just take Raman Muni first and then we'll take you? I know you have a question. Can we take Raman Muni first and then we'll take your question?
Thank you, Aditi. Hi, Archana and Maitreyi.
Hi.
It was nice listening to you. A quick word of appreciation before I just seek response from Maitreyi. Maitreyi, great that you had wonderful exploring that has taken place. Thanks to your family that was very supportive as well. I heard you speak about a part of your journey was working with students with disabilities, right? Now, I was just wondering, looking at your own experience with the disabled children, how do you see home learning environments, home learning spaces, adding that component, helping out children with disabilities in these spaces? How do you see that possibility? Just wondering, since you have taken that up partly.
Yeah, so I think regardless of different, I wouldn't even say disability, but maybe different abilities, so to speak. But regardless of that, I think in the end, it's sort of, even with homeschooling, unschooling, personally, I would say like because I have worked, but I don't have a lot of experience. So I'll try to answer this to the best of my ability. But what I've realized is that in the end, you sort of have to let the child decide. So, and for even with someone with a different ability or some sort of mental disability, that could be a homeschool or a different alternative environment, or it could be a normal school that could be slightly attuned. Definitely differently able children, they do require some sort of additional attention that they need, which can separately be worked out with the school also, how they plan. But yeah, I think especially with homeschooling, unschooling, or in a different alternative space, Asmakam has always been open. We, however, don't take guarantee, or we don't say that the space is especially tailored for this. But if you want to send your child, more than welcome. We'll try to accommodate them as best possible to our abilities. But then also then taking it with a grain of salt, because we're not equipped professionals. We haven't worked a lot. We don't specifically deal with differently abled children, so we won't be able to maybe provide them the special attention or the resources that they need. But like spaces like this, I'm pretty sure maybe Arohi also, other spaces, like always very open and accommodating to people or children of all sorts and of all ages and learners of all ages. So yeah, I think, I don't know if that answers your question.
Thanks, Maitri. Soham, you want to go next, and then Roshni, I'll take your second question.
Ma'am, can I speak now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. No, ma'am, your son cleared your 10th NIOS exam recently. Now, our child is in the 4th grade. So, can he go directly for go and prepare for his 10th NIOS rather than giving a number of levels? Because I see in the NIOS board there are some OB levels, then secondary levels. Overlooking. So, is it required to be? Is it required that he should cross that level, or he can go directly for the 10th NIOS board?
No, so OB, so OBs, they are just calling it a minimum, reading and writing levels. They don't actually need any certification. If your child is 14, they allow you to take on the 10th. But you should be able to give some proof that he knows reading and writing, and just the basic education, they call it open basic education, OBE. So they are not hard and fast that you have to show them 8th grade certification. But to be on the safe side, we had a friend who had the school in village. We asked him to allow Atri to be on his on his enrollment for 8th, and Atri gave 8th exam from that, which was MP board, and so he had this 8th grade certification just to show formally. But actually NIOS doesn't need OB. For them is just open basic education. If somehow you can prove through different things that he knows how to read and write, I think that should be enough, basic principle.
So he can go directly for the 10th board NIOS.
So if he's 14, he can apply for NIOS 10th.
So a number of children from Arohi has given NIOS, and we have not even created a certificate for them. I think they just ask in the form, what are your things, and legally there is no requirement. Child at the age of 14 directly can register and then can appear for exam. So but I think for people, as Archana was saying, people for their own comfort might like to take OB, and all this OB is also for people who are from the rural background, where they are not so much exposed to the basic literacy, and then I think to give them, Archana, to give them that, But if your child is growing up in an environment where these basic abilities are already in place for them, you can directly go for 10th and 12th.
Okay. Any specific coaching would be required after 8th standard or so? Nothing.
No, let your child. They have a variety of choices to choose for. Which even CBSE doesn't even allow those subjects in the 10th grade. So there are different and wonderful. The course is very beautiful, and they have put a lot of efforts. Only thing is the physical books take some time, but you can find Khan Academy. He can prepare. Your child can be now. Khan Academy is in even Indian languages also, and they have aligned with NCERT grades. So even if you don't feel comfortable, your child can enroll into Khan Academy and start doing his subjects grade level from there, and then directly appear for 10th NIOS, you know. Yeah.
And also the people who are listening, NIO has a very extensive website. There you get all these details. So maybe that can also help you to understand how things are moving ahead right now.
Yeah. And Aditi, as we were talking for the Self-Learning Cafe, just wanted to let everyone know that Self-Learning Cafe will facilitate not teaching part. Teaching would be on the request. If we get a lot of requests that we need 10th का NIOS का जो course है उसके लिए हमको मतलब tutoring चाहिए, तो we'll find out that, but we don't believe in that basically, but we will facilitate the NIOS part for you guys, you know, for all the parents, that we can take care of you and you know, start communicating. So Self-Learning Cafe would become kind of a hub for you to let us know that your child is giving, he wants to appear for the 10th exam, and all the communication will take care, because NIOS communication is very, very bad, you know. You just keep wondering what is happening. You don't have proper things, no books, nothing arrives, and many other issues parents have been facing. So yeah, so Self-Learning Cafe can facilitate that once we launch. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, ma'am.
And Soham, by the time he'll be in the 10th, we don't know what will be there. So
I know.
At that time, maybe he will have his own journey to move ahead. I think we'll take this as the last question. We are moving towards more than 6. Roshni is asking, any tip to uncondition other half to come on the board? So Roshni is asking, you were talking about other half, maybe the partner, maybe husband and wife, they're not on the same line. Any tips how to do that?
I think if you want to do that, probably initial years you will have to take all the responsibilities yourself. You cannot ask them to take, you know, that if you are starting homeschooling, that you do that or you support us. And I think slowly it becomes very easy, you know, that journey. For me, my husband was never opposite to us, but then he was just thinking that you are going very radically, you know. Even I asked Mitu that you are fine if you don't even do the degree also, you know. But he was kind of thinking, no, let's go in a balanced way. So we respected that part, and Maitreyi herself wanted, but not very particular that she will go to the university, but just to respect his things also, she joined that, and you know, so it slowly probably, if you don't start cursing or just forcing them that you change your mindset. Just positive side of that what I used to do is many different TED Talks about education, and now different resources about homeschooling, unschooling, and now we are having all these sessions talking with the parents. So if you start sharing all the articles and different things with him or her, they should start getting onto the speed, you know, that this is not something very unique or very only we are doing. There are many different families now doing that. So that's what we did. That we asked Manish to connect with different people we were working, and different articles and different TED Talks, and so he was not against that. But now, you know, and it takes time. It's not going to go very soon, but it will happen.
And what matters is what you're saying is the communication, right? Not against them, but with them. Yeah, because I understand that everybody has their own thought process and their own. So we
and you have to be very patient and tolerant. So you cannot just keep shouting, because it's frustrating. Gets frustrating sometime also to find the resources and keep your child busy. Or if means even you are on condition that okay, आज तो बच्चे ने कुछ नहीं किया, just time pass किया, तो परेशान हो गए कि अरे यार ऐसे कैसे होगा, you know. So that takes lot of effort from our side also to not show that off to our better half that I'm getting frustrated. Otherwise, तो यही होगा कि बस कर लिया, अभी नहीं हो रहा है, चलो छोड़ो, let's go back to the conventional things.
So that's quite wonderful, Archana. I'm sure people who are listening must have got one step ahead in wherever they are in their journey. Yeah. And Archana is always available. I'll share, Archana, your number if you're fine in the
sure.
group, and a couple of links which Archana has sent me. So I'll share with you. And just want to share that I have never seen any family till now in homeschooling, unschooling group where they're saying no to the people who wants to connect with them or understand this whole journey. So it's a quite a beautiful community which has come up because we all are, as Ratnesh said in the morning, in the beginning, that we all are not on the same page. It's not that everybody is doing completely open schooling or completely structured schooling. We create our own learning as per our child, as per our own conditioning or our own needs. So there is a lot more variety of the people. But I think this community quite beautiful, and that's where I guess last 23 Saturdays we have been bringing people to share their journeys and connect with the people who are wanting to start this journey. When we started, there was no support system like this, but we felt that we will help many more. So thanks a lot, Archana. You want to say a closing thought, and I can see a lot of thank you for you.
Thank you, Aditi. I think in the last, I would just say that just find yourself what is the purpose of your child's education and then start your journey from there. Also, there are a couple of things that start thinking about creation versus consumption, like homeschooling and self-learning gives us a lot of opportunity to create rather than consuming what is happening in the world. Also start changing our definition of growth and prosperity, what kind of growth we are seeing and what actually prosperity means, and start from, like, what should I say, transaction to transformation, so give and take in the school and grades and career, but how is it transforming me as a human? Probably that question we should all be asking. Also, I think a couple of things I would say that they, as we all know, that children's are, they are through us, but they are not for us, or, So I think Aditi and Ratnesh has been putting a lot of efforts already in creating a lot of awareness, spending a lot of beautiful people there. And sometime I ask Aditi that you are very lucky to have you both working equally in this space, as we are talking that not two couple are like husband and wife are not on the same page, and you guys are so very lucky, and I really appreciate what you guys have been doing for all these years, very passionately and with a lot of patience, and Asavari was here in Indore, and I just saw such a beautiful girl. She is, very, very pure and open-hearted, and really appreciate, and kudos to you guys.
Thank you, Archana. I think you shared a beautiful thought, creation, consumption to creation. I think that's Thank you everyone, and being there.